Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use this awesome app. It's called Lossless Scaling. It's helped a lot of gamers out, including me, especially low-end gamers who can't run their games at the frame rate they want. So this is how to use it. Okay, so first off, there's two ways of using it. If you want to upscale it or downscale it, you have windowed and borderless. Two options. If you want to do windowed mode, you gotta go in here, set it to auto, not custom, but auto, full screen, and choose your scaling type. For the sake of the video, we're gonna go with, I don't know, AMD FSR. Set sharpness, I don't know, whatever you prefer. Go back into the game. Hey guys, this is me from the future, from the editing room, and I realized I've messed up because for the windowed, if you want to upscale from the windowed mode, you're supposed to go into your game's graphics settings, go into either borderless, windowed, or full screen, and you choose windowed. I said borderless, I wasn't supposed to, but it's actually windowed, and you choose the resolution you want to upscale from. And I'm gonna choose 1600 by 900. Hit apply, and press the hotkey. It should be upscaling and maybe fucked something up again, but I hope not. So yeah. And now we're going to go back into lossless scaling, and I'm going to show you how to use it with borderless. So what you're going to do is set it to custom. Here's your scale factor. Let's go 1.3. I'm going to show you a graph of, not a graph, but like points with which factors are which quality. I think 1.18 was ultra quality or something like that. So let's go 1.3 for the video. Okay, so now let's go back into the game, graphics, and set to borderless, and now we are going to upscale it by pressing the hotkey, fuck around hotkey, Control P. That's the hotkey that I use, and as you can see, it has upscaled the game. That's pretty much it for the scaling modes and the other options, but for scaling, I suggest you use AMD FSR, NVIDIA image scaling. LS1 is pretty good, I've heard, and maybe Nearest Neighbor or something like that. Just play around, see which ones you like. I use LS1 or AMD FSR. Those are the top two for me. And now let's get into frame generation. You can also use frame generation even with upscaling, but I prefer not to because I like my game to look as it is and I want to mess it up. So for frame generation, you have multiple options. First of them being LSFG 1.1 or LSFG 2.2. LSFG 1.1 doesn't have the frame thingy, but LSFG 2.2 has. X2 extreme means times 2 or times 3. Times 2 meaning if you cap your game at 30 FPS is going to be 60, but times 3 meaning that if you cap your game at 30 FPS it's going to be 90. And in order to use frame generation, you do need to have an additional app. It's called Riva Tuner Statistics Server. Why choose this app over capping your FPS in any game's FPS capper? Only because Riva Tuner has way more stable frame time than any other capping FPS in the game. It just has really smooth FPS if you cap with it. So I suggest you use it. You can download it by downloading it with MSI Afterburner. It comes as an additional app when you're downloading it. So we're gonna cap our FPS at 60 for now. Go back into the game. And now I am going to go into lossless scaling. And I'm gonna do LSFG 2.2 and X times 2. Alright, now I'm going to press the hotkey, Control Alt P, that's the hotkey that I use. And as you can see, I can't really hit 60 FPS on this game, so I shouldn't probably put that, but as you can see in the top left corner, it does show how many FPS I am getting. And also if you want to see how much FPS you're getting, I do suggest you use this option, draw FPS. That's how you are going to see how much FPS you are getting. And if we're gonna do time stream mode, now let's go back and scale it. Okay, yeah, as you can see it works. I do have trouble hitting the 60 FPS, so it can't generate 180, I think. Yeah, if my math is correct, it's 190. As you can see, I do actually cap, when I play squad myself, I cap it at 30 and play it in the rendered frame 60, because I can hit 30 pretty much all the time. Only when there's mega explosions going on, that's the time I can't hit it. But just, you can like you have multiple options of capping it. There's 30, 45, 60, 50, cap it at whatever you want, but also remember that you have to think about your refresh rate. I have 60 refresh rate monitor, so I cap it at 30 so I can get 60 FPS. If you have 120 FPS, I mean hertz monitor, my bad, cap it at 60 FPS. If you have, I don't know, fucking know, if you're a beast and you have a 240 hertz monitor, then cap it at, oh my god, math is not mathing, 120 FPS. And yeah, also quick tips for lossless scaling app is that I do suggest when you're using frame generation, you play around with these modes, see what works best for you. Try out LSFG 1.1. If LSFG 2.2 doesn't really work for you, try the performance mode. It pretty much, the performance mode is gonna, the quality is gonna be a little bit bad. Not really bad, I don't think there's a difference, but at least they told that the quality is gonna be a little bit worse if you have performance mode on, but you're gonna have better performance. So I do suggest you use it, because the difference in quality, I haven't seen a difference, so I don't know. And when you're using frame generation, another tip is that you disable everything except draw FPS, because it can mess with your frame generation. And another extra tip is that you disable all your overlays, like disable NVIDIA overlays, disable Discord overlays, whatever overlay you have. Disable it, because it can mess with your game. I had a problem where I hadn't disabled some overlay and my game kept freezing, so please check and disable all your overlays if you do want to use frame generation. And another thing is that sync mode. I haven't tried this out much, but I think for AMD GPUs you have to have it at 2. The max frame latency is 2 for AMD and 1 for NVIDIA. I'm not sure about this, and if I am wrong, leave it in the comments sections, because I am not too sure about this. And the sync mode, you can play around this as well. I suggest either using default or allow tiering, or maybe even VSync. I used VSync myself for a bit, but I did notice like the game dropping FPS in like big like explosion scenarios, so I do suggest you use default or allow tiering, because the tiering is not that big of a difference. But play around and see what you like. And also the capture API, I suggest you use DXGI, but if it doesn't work or doesn't suit you, use WGC or GDI. Play around. I had a feeling when I was playing that maybe WGC is better for me, but eventually switched back to DXGI because I think it was more stable. So just play around with these settings, and don't put any other settings, like don't do this and don't do all this. It can just mess up your frame generation. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. This app is only like $5 or $6 on Steam. I suggest you check it out. Also, you can probably crack it or pirate it or something. I don't suggest that, but it is a possibility that you can do if you don't have the money for this app. But I do suggest buying it and helping out the developers, because this is just an awesome app. It's helped me in Elden Ring, Squad, Call of Duty. It's just really good and helpful. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.